Welcome back to season 2, y'all. Got some Lankhmar goodness coming up. And you can see, aside from our usual crew of Jeff, Judge Brendan, me, Carmen, Haley, and Reverend Dak, we have manly Michael Curtis here to talk about some Lankhmar goodness. Right? We have Bruce and Jim and Jess. No, he's not on mute, but we can hear him. All right. And your audio is moving up and down when you speak. How about anyone that's not me or Brendan say something? Can you guys hear them? Maybe I have to I'm going to reset your audio. All right, I'm going to remove your audio and then put it back in and see if that works. I'm going to add a new audio input capture.
I don't think anyone really appreciates how much Tim does to keep the technical side running.
Trust me, I do.
I hate OBS so much. Is there? Oh no. I'm sorry. Oh my god. What's amazing is everything is now disabled, and yet I can still see my input capture, and it's moving, and it shouldn't be. Well, what an amazing start to this season, guys.
I'm hoping all of this makes it onto YouTube because this is quality content.
We're being hilarious. They just can't hear us. That's the problem.
Maybe in 2 seconds I just put you back. Yeah, okay, they can hear you now. Looks like.
All right.
Hello.
I was just getting ready to mime the whole session.
Bruce said you fixed
Brendan had
it.
his whole interpretive dance planned out, guys.
Hey.
Like I'll throw some coins in the air. Whoa, where they go? Hey everybody, thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Blades Against Bandwidth Season 2, Blades Against Bandwidth Lankhmar. We are super excited to have everybody here, and we hope you can hear us. If you're watching on Twitch, and if you're catching this on YouTube, thank you very much for checking out our show, and be sure to like and subscribe, hit that little bell button, and we will send you updates, because we're constantly, Goodman Games is putting out all kinds of great content, and we're super excited to be here. So we had see a crit, but here's okay. I will mime one crit though. Here it goes. Ready? Then we need the Beatles piano sound. There you go. So Thanks so very much. So today this is our first show back. This is like episode 0 really of the new season. And we are going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about the new characters, say hello to everybody, and catch up with what everybody's been up to. And but big time, we got a big time guest here today, Mr. Michael Curtis. Manly Mike, thank you so much for sitting in with us today.
Thank you. I have no idea why I'm here.
You are here because you are the founder of the feast, sir. You are the one who has brought us all this amazing Lankhmar, the greatest interpretation of RPG Lankhmar ever. Step up. Come at me. I'm ready. And we're super excited to have everybody we're super here to answer questions and such. We already asked a bunch of them before we went online, which was fun. So we're going to have to ask all those questions again. But this is exciting. So hey gang, how's everybody been? I think everyone should tell a story from the downtime, something cool that's happened. Everyone should have some kind of thing to I should have, not that right now, but by the end. Jeff, since you had your mini convention since the last time we were online, was fantastic.
I sure did. So, I've been, in general, I am just like absurdly busy, full-time school, 2 part-time jobs, an internship, an eBay store, 2 podcasts, 2 weekly RPG games, just a lot going on. But suddenly for like 5 or 6 weeks over winter break, I had basically almost none of those things. So I had all of this free time suddenly. So I was like, I guess I should throw a little gaming convention. So I threw GoadCon, and GoadCon was 5 weeks where each week we would play a different game for 3 consecutive nights. So it ended up being 15 nights of gaming. And the first week we did 3 nights of Forbidden. Oh, and the goal was for me to play specifically play games that I'd had on my shelf, hadn't played yet, and had been really wanting to. With one exception, which I'll get to. But the first week was Forbidden Lands. The second week was Spyhander. The third week was Torchbearer. The fourth week, it was a little bit of a cheat because I had played this game, but not since I was 14. And that was Vampire the Masquerade. And the fifth week was Troika. And it was so much fun. GoadCon was a blast. Brendan was there for the Vampire the Masquerade game. He was playing in Nosferatu. And actually, I hadn't thought about preparing this, but I actually do have a picture. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I do have a
Lankhmar has rolled in.
Yeah, but I have a picture of me. I did a little cosplaying that first night that we were playing. So here's me. During the first day of Vampire the Masquerade.
So 90s Eric Draven.
I am having so many flashbacks right now. Oh God.
Yep. I'm wearing a wig, and then I've also got there's a zoom filter that like adds the mustache and like the eyebrows. And then I've got a little New Orleans background. But yep, that's a little bit about GoadCon. It was a blast.
Nice, cool. And I'm going to keep going around. So, Dak, I understand you had a total party kill in your long-running DCC campaign last night.
Was it last night? No, it was Thursday night. Yeah. They're a little upset about that. I'm running them through the old AD&D Slave Lord series right now.
Nice.
And they're a little bit too low level right now. Yeah, it's pretty funny, but they're.
You can't laugh at their TBK. It hurts. They're hurt.
Yeah, we haven't completely resolved it. We had to put a pause on it. Yeah, it was pretty funny. But I did a lot of hiking this winter. We could do that here in LA. Yeah, the weather's pretty much nice every day, and I go climb a bunch of peaks. It's cool. That's awesome. What I did.
Cool. Carmen, you look surprised, but I know you got a cool story. I know you got one on the fingertips. You're ready.
I have no cool stories.
You did a bunch of cool art. You're working on cool projects. How much you're working on?
I'm so busy I can barely breathe. But like Jeff and Haley, I'm a full-time student and juggling RPG art, and I just finished sketching out my first graphic novel, and it's in the coloring process right now. There's a panel of it behind me right now.
Awesome.
Yeah, but school and work are keeping me busy. Yeah.
You have some art in a Kickstarter right now, right? Isn't was it the Macabre Tales or something like that? Or
Yeah,
awesome.
and I'm working with Shiloh Weidman and Daniel Bishop. Their Kickstarter just wrapped up and it funded in like an hour because it's a powerhouse. And I'm doing a project with James Posnall and Stroud. It's all just like spinning in my head, but it's all really cool stuff. So I'm really excited to be part of those projects.
Killer. That's awesome. Haley, I know you got stories. You got crazy stuff that's happened. You just got. Did you just?
I have had so much happen. I transferred back home from school to a different school here, so you might notice I'm not in my dorm room. So I transferred back home. I got 2 jobs, then immediately got mono, then accidentally overdosed on Tylenol, and now I'm back at work and I'm here. It's been a ride.
Yeah. I had mono my freshman year. It colored a lot of my winter break. It was a lot of it was me sleep. I remember being asleep and watching the lights on the Christmas tree go back and forth on the couch. Like, I can't do it.
Yeah, it was not a good time. I don't usually get sick. These past 4 months have been insane for me getting sick. So I was like, what's happening? I don't feel good. What is this? Yeah, it was fun for me.
Yeah, well, let's hope you've used up your allotment of illness for the next like 5-7 years.
That's what I'm hoping. I got it all out of the way now, and then I'll just be fine.
Cruise.
That happened to me my first go round in college. I was sick as a dog, just absolutely sick as a dog for like a solid year. Yeah. And then I really haven't gotten sick since. So I think you're just building up your immune system.
Exactly. Now I'm immune to so many things.
Oh, and Tim, I know you got a story or two. Come on, Tim. What have you done, Tim?
Yeah, I think since last time I finally got one of us out in print to most of the backers. I still have some more stragglers of the late survey responders, and then all my outside the U.S. because that's just ridiculous right now. Like trying to ship anything out of the United States as far as money goes. But yeah, so one of us got out. I have another exciting, creative announcement to make, but it's not mine to make, so I have to hold off. But it's something that I think you all will have some kind of stake in, and probably want to come along this journey with me. But we'll wait for the announcement. And what else? We have our Thursday games. We've had a few of those since last. We've had our game therapy sessions. Mm-hmm. We had a really fun one this last week where we did a very Shakespearean kind of comedy game, I would say. And we've had Total Con, Spawn of Cyclops Con, Gary Con's coming up, so lots of game prep stuff. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much it. Oh, I got my COVID vaccine because I work in an elementary school, so that's nice.
Yay!
So who wants to make out? No.
Is there a brewery in the elementary school?
No, the brewery closed down because of COVID, so I figured my next best skill set for making beer was teaching children. So
beer.
They're basically the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's wonderful to have everybody back. I have truly missed y'all. I have truly missed this game. I've truly missed hanging out with everybody here on our wonderful Sunday night. Like, it was always the cap off of my week and a great excuse for me not to do anything on Monday until about noon. You know what I mean? Oh, I got to sleep in. I had a show last night. Comic books, you know. So it's great to be back, and great to have Michael here. So we are getting ready to embark on the whole Lankhmar experience. We got Mr. Lankhmar here. So I was thinking, Mike, let's just say, if you were going to give, like, what advice would you give to our audience members who want to run Lankhmar adventures, as far as like doing it differently or how would they do it? What would your advice be to our audience?
I would say, to start with, don't sweat it. You don't. Although it is based on existing intellectual property, don't worry about it. It's, long and short, it's all D&D. Down in the bones. If you read a couple of library stories, great. There's a lot of the stuff is already in the box set. If you pick up the box set, it'll give you, an overview of what you need to get running. Just have fun with it. There's a lot of it is designed to be kind of come up with on the fly or to do a little prep beforehand. As we were kind of discussing a little bit earlier, your players in their character creation will give you everything you need to basically come up with all the bare bones you need to base a campaign around, just on like what they roll and So it's if you have knowledge, bring it to the table. But it's as we were talking with Brendan early. Every Lankhmar is your Lankhmar. So don't just roll with it. Just stop thinking about it and start doing it. that's my advice. Bring out in fact, not right now, but like in an hour. That's it, all right?
Once we're
in fact, start forming a group in Twitch chat right now. Just talk about your calls. Just set something up. Jess is running it. She doesn't know it yet, but she's going to be set up. All right. So okay.
Yeah, Jess, you're running Lankhmar, and me and Mike. In fact, we're all in it, plus everybody watching tonight. So get ready for it's gonna be a whole campaign. Basically, we're to populate an entire neighborhood of Lankhmar and then rob stuff. I'll email you.
Michael, if you had to give like an elevator pitch to someone who is not familiar with Lankhmar but played DCC, like what would you say are the similarities and differences as far as like if you could wrap it up in like you had to convince somebody in like a couple of minutes?
Well, the thing is that if you're familiar with DCC and you want to play Lankhmar, you can. You don't have to pay any attention to any of the rule variants whatsoever. It was designed to be, completely compatible. So if you just want to use the setting, fine. You basically have a city, just go for it. But the main difference is that we said that there is a literary campaign, what we call it, literary Lankhmar, which is if you want to run something which is more faithful to the source material. And literary Lankhmar makes a couple of assumptions. Those assumptions are there are no races other than humans as playable. Everybody's going to be a human. The only thing you come from different cultures rather than being an elf or halfling and all the rest of that. And that kind of influences what you can do and kind of what you're up against. There are only 3 classes. There is only warrior, thief, and wizard. There are like priests, but they don't have any of the magical mumbo jumbo powers. They're basically all con people. They're showmans and and so healing, if you're doing literary, is done basically by you can spend luck to basically recover your health. And speaking of luck, there is a neat mechanic, which if you have been familiar with DCC at all within, say, the last year or two, I am sure you've heard of a little thing called fleeting luck, which is luck comes and luck goes. So, it's not like the permanent luck in the DCC core book. If you do neat stuff, if you keep the judge entertained, if you come up with cockamamie ideas, you will earn fleeting luck, which you can spend to help yourself, you can spend to help your friends. And anytime you roll a 1 that's a failure, all that luck that everybody get goes away and you have to start from scratch again. So there's no, I'm just going to sit on this big pile of luck until I fight the big bad guy at the end of the adventure. So it's a luck economy that encourages you to spend, and come up with crazy ideas to earn. So yes. Those are the major changes, I would say.
It's a fantastic rules variation that I'm really, really, really fond of, and that I use all the time now for all kinds of stuff. So, and copied it for X-Crawl. Ching.
I think when I first started running like my first few Lankhmar games that I ran, I had a really hard time remembering. Right, that's the one thing is if you're a new judge to Lankhmar, you might have or any game that's going to use fleeting luck is. I even if I give myself a note, it wasn't good enough. I would just tell my players like for a while, like, hey, just remind me, like if you guys think something's cool. Just be like, hey, fleeting luck, and just to kind of keep me, because I would constantly forget to give it up.
Yeah, I would say from a judge perspective, if you feel like you should give out fleeting luck, do it. It doesn't even matter. And in fact, the more you give out, it's not going to break the game because it's all going to come back. originally the rules were like you earn fleeting luck if you try something that was in the it was in kind of like in the idiom of the setting, and it just became like somebody comes up with a dumb idea, you don't even have to like just come in with a dumb idea earns you luck for me as far as I'm concerned. That's the stupidest idea I've heard tonight. Here, have fleeting luck for coming up with that idea.
Dumb ideas get us fleeting luck, guys. We're gonna be set. This is like made for us.
It really is. It's interesting. Like our last campaign, the first episode of or the first season of Blades Against Bandwidth, we had a lot of really high luck characters because of some strange rolls from the funnel. So I'm interested. I think that I'm really hoping that the fleeting luck will kind of take a part of that because I really enjoyed that aspect of it. The luck spending and sharing that went on in our last game. You guys were really very generous with one another and with our with our whatever guests we had. So that was super cool. So
I 100% thought you were going to say that in our last campaign, we had an extraordinary number of dumb ideas.
Same. I really thought that's where that was going.
That's a matter of public record.
And it's
So
They're not mutually exclusive, you can mean both things.
honestly, you guys are this is the thing too. Like I was trying to explain this to someone over the break. Like Thursday, Sunday night, you guys are an extraordinary bunch of players. Like if you think about the gaming experience you guys have, I mean, this is like, every week I go up and play against the All-Stars. And I know this for a fact because I've done the convention circuit and I have gone up against not the All-Stars a lot of times. And I loved all those games. They were fun, but they spent a lot of time getting in their own way. Y'all never really did that. You know what I mean? You guys are clever and funny and decisive, and I mean that's a part of it. I think I'm interested in seeing the heist aspect of the heist things with a really smart group of role players.
Speaking of gifting things and luck, Bruce is out going crazy and gifting some tier 1 subs to the people.
Thank you, Bruce.
So.
Hey, Bruce.
Bruce is he's the subscription halfling.
Yeah, he is. You were the man, Mort. Thank you, cousin. Dude, I owe you one. You know what? You want to talk about gifts? He just sent me over some Scottish soda and some British crisps that I've been. We had a little taste test the other night, and thanks again for that, man. We had to have a taste test the other night with some Iron Brew soda, which for the record is like bubblegum / orange flavor. It's for kids, but also we had Monster Mash crisp that we're still mowing on. Pickled onion, y'all.
It sounds really good.
Delicious, y'all. Okay. You know what? Picking on Arsenal. That's fine. We had our moment.
Wait, you follow Arsenal?
Yeah.
This house is an Arsenal house.
Is that right?
I'm not particularly an Arsenal fan myself, but I do watch them and feel terrible for them.
What is Arsenal?
Arsenal is a member of the English Premier League. They're a football club over there. They try very hard most of the time.
They used to be one of the greatest ever.
Yeah,
So
they had a big.
They had the
run.
Invincibles where they never lost the game a whole year, like 2 years almost.
Gotcha.
So naturally, my dad has to roast them in the chat now.
Yeah.
Elder Sketch.
How that has to
I was
go.
giving him.
That was one of the first things I learned about
last week.
Dak when I started talking to him more. Is that his soccer / football knowledge it rivals his DCC.
It really doesn't.
No.
Not compared to sports guys now.
Good.
Brendan's over there doing a scarf dance with it.
Is that your Gryffindor scarf?
That's not my damn Gryffindor sketch. Everybody knows I'm a Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
So okay, you know what? We're eating up our hour here. Let's talk about characters. Okay, so I'm gonna go reverse order to discuss characters and such. Tim, tell us about your new character for this season.
All right, so I rolled up, and I did it completely random, but until just a half hour ago, I switched some stuff around. But I had rolled up a warrior from the 8 cities who is now a warrior from the Mingle Steppes. So I am Ganbatar, the Mingle warrior. He's not the most robust, let's say. He's got a very low stamina, and I'm attributing that to maybe like a childhood illness or maybe a little bit of like exercise-induced asthma, some sort of malady maybe he suffered as a child. his lucky warrior is his Mingle shortbow that I have named Jill. I think it's pronounced Jill, like Django is the D is silent. But there's Michael could probably tell me the goddess Jill. So it's called Jill's Kiss. That is my lucky weapon. So I get my luck modifier to hit with it. Plus, I've always wanted to play a warrior that had a D die with a ranged weapon because I always play a melee warrior, and I think it'd be kind of cool to play like a super tie type character who's just like shooting dudes with bows.
I love it. Cool. All right, still going backwards. Haley, who are you playing this season?
I am playing an Easternlands thief named Kai Hala. She is hopefully good at her job. Looks like she might be based on what I rolled up. She is very good at two-weapon fighting, but she's the curse of TBD that will be eventually figured out. So that's really all I got with her right now. I'm still working on the backstory, trying to figure out 100% of it, but yeah.
Yeah. She is cursed, we said before, I found out earlier, so we're going to work on, I think I don't want to use just the curses out of the back of the DCC book. I want to come up with specific things specific to the setting and maybe the game. So let's.
He's going to think about how he can ruin my life in the best possible way and then throw it at me.
Yeah.
You want to crowdsource some of these curses?
Oh yeah, send curse ideas. You can either email my email here.
Be kind.
Put them in the chat room. Put them in the chat room if you have. What's up, Sean?
The curse of unlimited
idea.
money. That's a good
curse of
idea that
unlimited
someone
money.
should put in there.
Such a burden.
Except I have a guy shooting at you constantly with a slingshot. Ping! Die 3
But
damage
it's all
every time.
gold. Yep, I think I think that should be the curse.
Solid gold D3. Damage of all that.
One of the stories was, and people are going to lambast me for this, but whose title escapes me at this point. But it's one of the bridging stories, and it's after Fafnir the Grey Mouser. They kind of like piss off the Sea King, and the entire story is just them like under the Sea King's curse. As they're trying to get to like the mainland and just everything going horribly wrong. So like literally like they finally reach land and they get off their boat and the boat just falls apart. Like everything they have been through, it's like so.
That when the Sea King's away?
No, but that's the one that leads into it.
Okay.
The Sea King's away, and then there's like a bridging story, which is name I'm not remembering off the top of my head right now.
But like that's where they keep meeting women. They keep turning into pigs when they get amorous around them.
That's actually the Adept's Gambit. But yes, that's one of them.
Right, cool.
Brad thinks it's the Sea King's wives.
No. It's really, it doesn't like sound like what it's supposed to be. It's it's because it was a story that Leiber wrote later, because he wrote like when the Sea King's away, and then he had to connect that to like the overall setting. And I think it actually leads into the Adept's Gambit. So it's not like under the thumb of the gods or anything. It's just like something along those lines.
Cool. That's the kind of curse I want to come up with. Something really not just mean and heinous, but like amusing and fun for the whole family. So be thinking of that stuff. So.
Yeah, we get raided too by Grim and Perilous. Just so you know,
What? Grim and Perilous, what's up? Hey, if you're a Grim and Perilous watcher, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome here. Attack our ramparts, I dare you. Lankhmar's walls will repel you, maybe. Thank you, Grim.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, Brendan. I told you my Benison was my mingle bow, but my Doom was my major foe, which I really liked Mike's idea before we started streaming, which was it's a Mingolian worm, death worm, which I thought would be hilarious if he like creeped around Lankhmar though in like a tuxedo and a fake top hat and a monocle.
As long as it's got the eye patch that we previously discussed, then I think we can all agree on that.
I'm looking for the warrior that shot this out.
Yeah, I think if a Mongolian death worm is my major foe, it kind of ends up becoming the party's major foe, right? That's one of those like I'm sharing this one.
I don't know.
Share the wealth, man.
That's what you think. But suddenly when it appears, everyone's just gone. That's crazy how that happens.
We've all stepped away. Where'd Gonfatar go?
After a barrage of move silently checks. All right, Carmen, who? Oh, go ahead.
A quick search of the internet tells me the name of the title of the story I was referring to is called "The Wrong Branch."
The Wrong Branch.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it leads into the Adept's Gambit story. So, but yeah, that's why I would never remember it.
I got to read that again.
Yep.
That's it. All right. So, Carmen, who are we playing this season, Carmen?
I am playing Mara. She is a thief from the land of 8 cities. And while she's a fairly successful thief, her doom is to be poverty-stricken.
That goes great with my curse of unlimited money. You're totally
Right?
fine. Don't worry about it.
Just don't let me hold your bag.
Yeah, no, I'll hold all the money, but if you need it, I totally have your back.
Cool. Well, that's cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what shenanigans all of our thieves get up to. So, all right, Reverend, what are we rocking this year?
All right. I wanted to name a guy Luke, actually, after a
Cool
soccer
Hand
player
Luke?
named Luke.
Oh.
Huh?
Cool Hand Luke.
Cool Hand Luke? No, he's not cool at all. And when I was looking at the names, I noticed a lot of names had Arch in them, so I just called him Luke Arch. It's just keep it simple. But yeah, he's from the eight cities. He's a thief from the 8 cities also. Got a lot of thieves, but I'm gonna play that down. Average to below average on all his stats except for his agility. So he might have won a couple sheep chases or tree climbs in his days.
Awesome. Well, I am looking forward to seeing what you get up to. And last but never least.
Oh wait, I didn't do my benisons and stuff.
Oh yeah, give.
I got trusted contact for my benison. I rolled 2. I just rolled randomly, and the trusted contact, Rainbow Cities is what I rolled for the subtable for that. So I don't know how this is going to play out. Are we gonna? Do I just tell you, and then you're going to make it come into play, or do we work something out?
I think between now and next week, all of these things that are variable, let us email back and forth and come up with something that is satisfying. I will cheerfully surprise. I mean, I don't feel like I should surprise you with the with your contact. You should know that going into it. But maybe like on your major enemy or something like that, I can surprise you if you wanted to, or we can discuss it. I'm
the other one is I don't have a major enemy. It was a minor favor, so it's just a mild one.
That you owe to someone.
Owes a minor favor. That's what I. Yeah, you can look at it. It doesn't seem.
Yeah.
It'll probably come into play. You could probably shoe it in anywhere.
Yeah, I'll probably surprise you with that. But let's talk about your contact and what that's like. Rainbow.
All right.
It says minor favor, but a lot of people are like, "Hey, can you just help me really quick? Do this just small thing." It can end up being like tearing down an entire cathedral.
That's how these things start. Always small. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, so Jeff, let's talk about your guy. Who are we playing?
So I'm playing Ka'a, and Ka'a is a very humble man. He has traveled to Lankhmar from the eastern lands, from a desert city where he didn't mean to, but he accidentally led a revolution in his homeland, and that's got him into a bit of a pickle. So there's now a blood price on his head back in the eastern lands for this revolution that he accidentally led. He didn't mean to, things just got a little out of hand. So he's been moving along, and now here he is in Lankhmar. He's been hanging out, trying to he's a very spiritual man. He likes to spread the word of taking a moment to be calm and quiet and really kind of reflect. So obviously he was drawn to Mog, the spider god, and those 8 legs, because it's the best way to meditate is by crossing as many legs as possible. Mm-hmm. So Mog is clearly the single most enlightened and meditative of all the gods. And I had noticed that there was a particular agent of Mog's who had quite a bit of power. It was a sorceress named Trin. And I was like, you know what? I bet if I sliced her throat and took her place, then I could end up getting her power. So, I did exactly that. So I sliced her throat. I became Mog's new agent. So I'm now a current agent of Mog, the spider god. But the problem is that when that happened, Trin decided to curse me. So in that curse, what happens is now every single night when I go to bed and I lay down, I see the ghost of Trin above me, shrieking at me and just like covering me in blood. And it's a really horrible way to go to sleep each night. So I don't really get a whole lot of sleep. So as a result of that, all of my stats are at -2 until this curse goes away. But also, I have come across some fine white silks recently. I don't know how they came into my possession. They just did, but now like I have to find a way to get rid of them. I'm looking for a buyer. So if you guys know of anybody in Lankhmar who's interested in buying some fine white silks, let me know. But overall, I'm just a very spiritual man, just kind of living my life, trying to make ends meet. Nothing major going on here, nothing to look at. That's Ka'a. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Ka'a also has an owl friend. I walk around with a large staff, and perched atop of my staff is my very haughty owl named Bama. And Bama just sits there on top of the staff, being very full of itself, but sits there quite still. So people are often pretty shocked when they realize it's an actual owl. They think it's just like a very lifelike, maybe they think it's like a taxidermied thing on top of my staff. I don't know, but it actually is my owl friend.
Very cool.
That's
very
Ka'a.
Jeff's characters never cease to amaze me. I always love them so much.
And everything about that character was randomly generated, and I just like threaded it all together to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Can you take sleeping pills? Like, can you take sleeping pills so you don't see the nightmarish ghostly form of the former priestess? So like she's slinging blood all night and you're just like,
yeah. I think I'm drinking a lot of sedative teas lately, and maybe smoking some sedative herbs as well. In addition to sleeping with a pillow over my head and cotton in my ears, and I'm doing my best, but it's been a challenge.
The Hobbit pipe back? Is that making it come back? I feel like that needs to carry over from last season.
No, it's a hookah this time.
Oh, okay.
Jeff, Tony wants to know what your class is. I am.
Is that obvious?
I am a simple wandering man. I'm very spiritual, so perhaps you could call me a cleric. I don't know. I'm a priest of Mog the Spider God. Yes, I'm playing a wizard.
So the first
adventure, I'm not real showy about it.
The first adventure is going to be the Great Melatonin Heist, is what that is going to be.
we knock over a lavender essential oil factory.
Brendan, we mentioned Benisons and Dooms, but in case anyone that's watching doesn't know what Benisons and Dooms, how they play, because they're not in regular DCC, could maybe have Mike.
Oh yeah, Mike, would you mind?
Yeah. So basically, what we decided is that first of all, we took the kind of contentious step of removing the 0 level funnel from literary Lankhmar. So instead you're going to start as first level, because we were deciding you're heroes here at this point. You're not jumped up gone farmers or anything. But we wanted to do something that would kind of give you a sense of background because you didn't play through that 0 level funnel, and also be able to kind of differentiate each of the cultures from each other. So we created a list. So you roll on the good list, which are the Benisons. And then once you've determined your Benisons, you roll on the bad list, which are your Dooms. And, so if you get a really good, Benison, you might also end up with a really bad Doom. And there is a level of customization. You can spend some of your permanent luck to buy like a second Benison. If you really wanted to play that character who was had some training as you're playing a thief, but you want to be, have some training as a wizard, you could spend some luck to represent that, before you began your adventuring career, you basically, you got lucky and kind of burned up some of your luck in order to also gain the ability to use a spell or something, because, a kindly old wizard took pity on you. So, it's, it's not very old school. It's not very OSR, that kind of stuff, but, we thought it would be fun. And it's actually based on something I used to run in my Labyrinth Lord campaign. So it has an old school pedigree to it. So because after you made up your 37th first level warrior, you sometimes you wanted to do something that's a little different. So I had a random chart that you just roll on, and some of the things which are actually in the DCC Lankhmar were actually stuff that was on my old, roll for something nifty, before you get to the fight type thing. Yeah.
Very cool, man. Very cool. I love that. That's some good info.
Yeah.
It's fun. Like the table has a really like lucky sign sort of feel to it.
Yeah.
So if you've played DCC, then it'll feel just like an extension of that.
Although I like it because you don't have to have a positive luck modifier to get the stuff. Like Brendan and I were talking about that this morning, as far as like, I know a lot of us have house rules that I think Doug gives you a lucky sign, like gives you a bonus to it regardless of what your luck is. But if you just play it as written, a lot of the times your lucky sign really isn't coming into play that much because you're probably have a penalty more than a bonus. It seems most of the time. But with the Benisons and Dooms, at least it's something that's gonna come into play.
I think the great warrior stuff in Core is like, gee, what's my unlucky weapon? What's the weapon I'm never gonna touch?
And also building on something that Mike was saying earlier about how you can use the setting and not use the rules. I would also like to say you can steal the rules from Lankhmar and not use the setting, because also there is so much like juicy stuff that Mike has given us in this Lankhmar box set, that even if you don't want to play in the Lankhmar setting and you just want to port some of this stuff over to your DCC game, like it's all so compatible that just like go for it, because I love a lot of the rules in here. They're very cool.
I know, like, for example, Fleeting Luck is everywhere now. Like, Lankhmar not, that is just everywhere.
Fleeting Luck is ubiquitous now. I just love spell stipulations. I think they're really flavorful. I think you could do them in addition to Mercurial Magic. You can do it in place of Mercurial Magic, but I think spell stipulations are just really fun and flavorful.
All right, so what are I would like to hear spells and spell stipulations.
Sure. So right now I have Cantrip, and that requires that I am swinging a pendulum in the air while I'm casting the spell. I have Detect Magic, which requires me to stand boldly and proclaim the spell as I'm doing it. Ecom's Mystical Mask induces nausea while I cast it. So like it just messes me up a bunch while I'm trying to do it. Find Familiar requires a small ceremonial drum that I'm beating while I'm summoning my familiar.
7 days.
Yes, exactly, for 7 days. When I'm invoking Mog the Spider God, I have to pull out my ceremonial dagger and like slice at the sky, slice at the air. So I'm like slicing sigils in the air with my ceremonial dagger to summon Mog. With Magic Missile, I have to anoint myself with special oils. And with Patron Bond, I have a special scarf that I wear. And I must be wearing the special scarf exactly while I'm making my bond with my patron.
Very cool, very cool.
I feel like between the nausea and always being tired, Ka just like has mono. It's just like permanent for him.
All right, so we have one returning character, kind of in a cosmic, this side of the cosmic, universe. We have a Septis, who was our last character that would be shared by all of our. So if you're brand new to the show, we have a guest on every week, and we give the guest a character to use, and that character becomes a continuous part of the party, even though they get played by somebody different every week. And so Septis has returned, Septis the wizard. So our party will have a second wizard. Is Septis. Septis is also from the Eastern Lands, meaning we have no native Lankhmar people, which is a lot of fun. His Benison is tough, so he gets to roll twice when he rests, when he spends luck to heal or recuperates. His Doom, so the Doom, I used a little bit of DM Fiat. Judge Fiat, Lankhmar Judge Fiat. So where he can his personality will change every time a new player, whenever a new player starts up with Septus, he will have one of his spells, and when he snaps out of it, his personality will be slightly different, allowing our guests to kind of interpret him however they want to interpret him and have as much fun with the character as they have been. And we have seen some doozies for Septus in the past. It's always hilarious. Elder Skatch, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Jim's probably the creepiest Septus we've had.
Jim was the creepiest, yeah.
I wasn't gonna say it, but he definitely. I was sitting next to him. I was like, "Would you stop it? I'm getting uncomfortable. like I'm sitting here and I'm uncomfortable."
Yeah. So that is all good. And is it too early to announce our first guest?
No.
Okay, so
Right
barring
here.
the unforeseen. No, our first player guest for Septus.
Oh, yeah, your first real guest. I got
Do you want to come back and play
Mike, if you
Septus
want to come
sometime?
back and play Septus, so we would love to have you.
Hey, Mike, thanks for everything.
Yeah, Mike, yeah, come show up. We'd love. We have an open door policy for. I'll make up a special Mike Curtis guy. And he could just be like the Apple Dumpling Gang's fifth member, and that would be awesome.
My policy is if you invite me, I most likely will come. So So
Everyone's heard that. You all watching at home have heard that. So
Especially now that his computer works.
yeah, now they've
yeah,
got
right.
All you have to do is look in the mirror and say Michael Curtis 3 times.
You'll get me, Candyman, and Bloody Mary. That's it.
Every time you do that, he just gets a notification on his phone that someone's summoning him.
I think
in
if
fact, you've never seen me, Candyman, and Bloody Mary in the same room at the same time. So
I feel like if I
big
summon
group chat.
Michael, like in that way, I want you to show up as '90s vampire Lark though. Like that's the Michael that has to appear.
Like goth talk.
Exactly.
if you get 90s Michael show up, basically you're gonna get the punk of the gothic punk setting, which is just basically me as I looked all the time at that point. It's like, I played a long string of brouhahas because I had the costuming. It's just like.
Personally, I would hope you would show up in the bear suit. You know what I mean? Fingers crossed. Come on, baby. Fingers crossed, bear suit. Come on now.
I'm playing a gangrel. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Outstanding.
Well, Brendan, you
So,
didn't never announce the guest.
Oh, yeah, we were just talking about it. So our first player guest is going to be Jen Brinkman, who will be, God willing, the creek don't rise. She's going to be in our show a week from today and breaking in Septus as if just smashing it with a figurative bottle of champagne to get our kick our campaign off, which we're very excited.
She's such a responsible player too. Like she's not going to run Septus into the ground for the next person. Oh, and she edited Lankhmar, right? Like she worked really hard to do the editing on this setting.
And play tested the heck out of it.
She's a little fond of the DCC line.
Well, we're a little fond of Jen. I'm a lot fond of Jen, and I'm really excited to have her.
She may end up running the games. Brendan, maybe your first guest. Is what happens.
She and
Don't
Haley
tease.
both played in the best game I've ever run.
I
and
was
it was a Lankhmar game. I ran acting up at Lankhmar, the Gary Con before it was released.
we had both Brinkmans, right?
We had the Brinkmen and Mike Bolam and you and Weird Dave Coulson and David Hoskins. And it
That was
was
a stacked
literally like
lineup.
the best game I've ever run in my life. I wish I could have bottled that and kept it forever.
Is this the fake mustache one?
That was when Jen was running.
Okay,
When
all right.
I failed
awesome.
my disguise self check, so I came around the corner, which is the finger mustache. Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh my
All right, so
god.
we have a question from Caledonian Man number 2. What if someone gets Septus killed? If someone gets Septus killed, which is Septus does not get plot armor just from being a holdover from our last game. If Septus gets killed, then Septus we will create a new character for our a new guest character who will start off at first level and who will have to catch up with everybody else being in the gang. If you'll a long time watchers will remember that we had an original backup character. And Tim, who got that one killed? Who was that?
That was Julian, right? Was that Judge Julian?
Julian. Yep. Good old Judge Julian Bernecki. He got our. What was his name? Do you anyone remember the dwarf's name?
Oh, isn't that
He
sad?
I have to look through my notes.
I wasn't even here for that.
No, it was pre Haley. He died in the One Who Watches from Below, with the last. I want to say the last or the second to last episode of One Who Watches from Below.
I
No,
totally
I
forgot
thought-
we had a dwarf. You're right.
It was I thought it was Jeweler who dealt in not Jeweler, Emerald Enchanter. Didn't he open a chest that he wasn't supposed to open, and that's what killed him? But it was in. Wasn't it in, or was it in? Anyway, I don't know. I'm just.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to go. Obviously, this calls for going back and rewatching the entire first season, which I've been planning on doing anyhow. So, yeah, that was it was a lot of. So if Septus, and this goes for anybody. If someone dies, I think the policy is going to be they will come back, but they'll be starting back a level lower than everybody else in the game. This way, they're not like first level if we make it to fourth or something like that, and they're just treading water. You know what I'm saying? Not having fun. So wanting to be fun. So yeah. So next actor is Septus Octavius. And does anyone remember who created Septus? Dave Beatty. Dave Beatty was the originator of Septus. Created him, brought him in. So thank you again, Beatty, and good looking out, man. You're in my thoughts these days. So.
Makes all too much sense knowing Septus and Beatty.
I know, right?
Like it just connects too well.
Yeah. Well, this Septus has to eat bugs to cast, or has to eat a live creature to cast Flaming Hands. And I couldn't be looking forward more to.
All right, this is official. No one is allowed to ask my dad to play Septus because he is going to enjoy that way too much.
If you do it in game, like if you do it in real, like use a prop, I'll give you a bump on that. Anyone playing Septus? So
I'm really looking forward to having the Elder Skatch back on.
right? Yeah, all kinds of good times. So this is almost the end of our hour, but I feel like we've covered some good stuff. Anything else we want to bring up before we
There was something I saw in the Discord today, by the way. There's a Discord for people that Tim was great enough to create. Someone asked if this is going to be a podcast ever.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. So as you can tell, I am an OBS guru, and but my intention is to extract the audio. And as long as my computer can handle recording this at the same time as streaming, I am going to extract the audio and hopefully get it into a podcast format with a little bit of editing. Because I need to do that anyway, because Brendan and I are starting up Quest for it, and I need to be able to stream Quest for it, and then also take the audio from it and put it out there as a podcast.
And if you happen to be actually listening to this episode as a podcast, Squarespace is an amazing group that allows you to make your own websites at home personally. It's really going to be, it's the only way you want to go. I use Squarespace every day.
Brought to you by the Cash App.
Just making so many
Cash
websites.
So many.
The only way to buy and sell Bitcoin.
Hey, do you have a hard time thinking of what to eat for dinner? Boy, I'll tell you what, Blue Apron is gonna. You know what? I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm totally kidding. But call me, all y'all. I will hook it up. I mean it. I will actually have my characters on a DoorDash quest, trying to steal bitcoins after they make up a Squarespace website to plan their heist. I'll do it. So
And we'll do it in those fancy socks.
With your dog's face on them.
Hello, Fresh.
I think Caledonia Man. I believe that's Mark Palmer that plays. Mark's
nice.
If it is, if I'm right, Mark.
What's up, Mark?
Mark is a frequent player on Game Therapy, and he's over in Scotland, and he is much better at this than I am. But he says if I record the Zoom audio, I can mix that.
Sorry, Tim, didn't mean to put you on the spot there. I just remembered that.
No, that's right. Yeah, and if you guys look, I'll put it out again somewhere, either in the Goodman Discord. I think I put it maybe in. I don't know if I put it in DCC RPG Rocks yet, but we do have a Blades Against Bandwidth Discord now. If you want to talk about, I started it up mostly just for us because I'm horrible at keeping track of email. So I wanted to put things that were important for the show for us in there. But I put like a little kind of hangout area if you want to come and BS about Lankhmar.
Cool. We'd love to have you. And
we have a St. Shanna sighting.
Oh, shut up!
Oh.
What about me?
Anna!
What
He's
about
ahead
me?
of all the other cats so far.
Yeah, our first cat sighting of the new season. That's great. We all love. I'm trying to, I have no idea where my guys are. And my dog went on vacation this weekend. She went to spend the weekend with Grammy Noodle.
Nice.
She's gonna come back so tonkered.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Bobby's gonna come back with painted toenails.
My
Properly spoiled.
My mother-in-law cooks her an egg for breakfast every day.
I aspire to be that one day. That is my life goal.
This is what I get for not giving her grandkids. So.
That she knows of.
Squarespace is a great way to open.
My dad just put in the chat that my cat is sleeping right next to him, so he's not moving.
Trokio saw me reaching for it and ran for it, so he knows better. All right, so I think I think this is probably it, but we are super grateful, and send us if you have questions, you can put them onto the ask them on the Discord, and we'll answer them. And at some point, we should post character sheets at some point so people can take a look at what everyone's got and what we're
Good
doing.
luck reading my handwriting, guys.
I know, right?
On you.
I used a fillable PDF
Yeah, me
because my handwriting is disgusting.
Mine's a Google Doc.
See?
I need to learn how technology works to do that, and that's just something I'm not willing to do.
I just typed it into a Google Doc. It's nothing fancy.
Our friend Chris had some good ideas last year that we never followed through with. He said that Brendan and I we should take all the character sheets and post them on the Goodman site, do like one a week. Like, here's this character, and you can use them as pre-gens. People always want pre-gens. If you guys want to play one of these characters in a Lankhmar game or something.
These are all legitimately rolled characters and hooked up. So
I rolled my character up by hand, but I also found when I was looking around the internet, there's a blog called Sorcery and Mighty Deeds that has Lankhmar character generators. So if you all are pressed for time and you really want to put a campaign together, I tested it out. Aw, buddy.
Baby.
Trokio has arrived.
Finally
Trokio. But yeah, it worked really well, and I double checked all the stats, and
cool.
It's another resource. So
cool. Maybe put the link to that in the Discord
somewhere.
So it'll be somewhere. I'll shoot it into the ether.
Tattoo it across your knuckles, and everyone knows.
Yes.
Check them out, so.
I need more knuckles.
Yeah.
To just collect all the character sheets from the campaigns and put together and monetize them like the old Rogues Gallery supplement. Where,
I wrote by Brad McDevitt. Yeah, Brad, call me. And sponsored by Squarespace, who's going to be really. If you need a website for your.
If you keep advertising for them before they pay you.
Yeah, they're not going to pay you if you keep doing
This
it.
is why I'm the worst. I'll already,
Wait till you've got the check in your hands.
But really do try Squarespace. I hear it's great. I don't know.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're one of those creative types,
If you use code BAB, you'll get.
I was about to say use promo code BLADE.
Use promo code Cookie Bear in order to get your, that'll be when we hook up with PetSmart or like one of those
He
pet
does not
box.
deserve a promo code. That cat is such a jerk.
But he's so
like
cute.
I love him to death, but he's such a jerk.
All right, I think that's everything. But thank you all so much for tuning in and for hanging out with us tonight. We really are grateful for you showing up. I cannot wait to jump into this. I'm so there. It's Cookie Bear. What's up?
He's like, I hate you.
Adorable. He's like, you will all die at my hands.
He just got handed to me, and he's so angry.
No,
Oh my God,
he really is mad.
He's so angry.
Oh, also,
That's what
guys,
makes
if you want to
Randy.
come back at 8 o'clock, Alex is interviewing Chris Doyle and maybe is it just Chris about Crypt of the Devil Lich. So,
Yep.
also, like and subscribe.
Chris
Hey,
Doyle rules.
we're just gonna slam in all the things that you're supposed to say on a stream, like right at the end.
Oh, and get ready for coming up is Dungeon Con Online, and we'll all be doing stuff there. I understand they've got this game called Dungeons and Dragons. We'll be playing there. I'm gonna try it.
Is that like
I'm gonna give it a
Fate?
shot, man. I think it's like Fate, but it uses dice or something.
No, Fate uses dice. It's just Amber.
Weird.
Amber doesn't use
So it's
dice.
not like Magic the
Oh, that's
Gathering.
Yeah, it's like Magic the Gathering, but it uses.
It's like Amber Dice List, but with dice.
Cool.
Think of like Amber Dice Bowl.
Oh.
Not it. All right, kids. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week for our first regular episode of Blades Against Bandwidth Lankhmar. Thank you very much. Much love.
Later.
Night, everyone.
Bye.